Oh, hi. Didn't see you there. Come on in. All right, it's the end of the year. It's time for a guitar collection video. I do one of these every year. A lot of guitars are gonna be the same. A lot of them are new. It's a good time. Take stock of everything I have because I have a ridiculous amount of stuff. And also I've rearranged my whole room. And by I've done it, I mean, we have done it. The person behind the camera was mostly Serena's idea. So what I'm gonna do in this video is show you every single guitar in my collection. If you don't see one, I've probably sold it or given it away. After I show you all my guitars, I'm also gonna go over a kind of quick overview of the room because like I said, we just rearranged everything and I think it looks pretty cool. I don't know if you can see what's going on here, but again, there's a lot of stuff and I feel like this new layout looks a lot better. And the motivation for that was this giant drum kit, which was sitting in our living room for like 4 months that we finally had to take care of. But we'll talk about all that at the end of the video. First up, we'll go through all the guitars. Okay, so we're actually gonna start off this guitar collection video with a brand new guitar which just showed up today. So I guess a little bonus unboxing within this video. This one does not come from Fender, it comes from Jackson. But if you didn't know, Jackson is owned by Fender. Okay, let's get this box open and see what we're dealing with here. Probably another box. Oh, it actually comes with a gig bag, I wasn't expecting that. So it's a Charvel gig bag in a Fender box with a Jackson guitar. We're going for all their brands in one box on this one apparently. I think that's actually because this isn't like a brand new version of this guitar. I think this was actually used in some of their marketing material. Headstock reveal. Hell yeah, that looks sick actually. So this is one of the new for 2025 versions of Misha Mansour's signature 6-string guitar. This one is in a insane sparkle blue finish with white pickups. Silver hardware, or not silver, chrome hardware, my bad. Sparkle finishes just are always the best. You can also see my reflection there. Hello. So this one right here is the Jackson HT6. Like I mentioned already, this is Misha Mansour from Periphery's signature model in the 6-string version. I think it also comes in a 7-string and there's also one with an Evertune, but this one is just the hardtail bridge, again with that blue sparkle finish. We'll go over the specs really quick because I have a lot of guitars to get through in this video, but it looks like we are looking at a poplar body with a gloss finish, a caramelized maple neck, which you can see right there, Jackson's own brand of locking tuners up top, an ebony fretboard, and this one is a 25.5-inch scale length 6-string guitar. Oh yeah, one other thing to mention is that this one does have jumbo stainless steel frets, which is a nice addition. As for the pickups, these are Jackson's own brand of pickups. So I guess these were designed in collaboration with Misha. Supposedly they were redesigned for the 2025 model because obviously the HT6 has existed for a couple of years, but this is the new version of those pickups as well. So these are just called the MM1 pickups, the Misha Mansour 1, I guess. We got a volume, a tone, and a 5-way pickup selector. So yeah, that's a really quick overview of the HT6 Misha Mansour signature model from Jackson. I'll be doing a video on this guitar very soon, but it literally just showed up, so I figured why not start with this one, right? Okay, real quick, before we move on to even more guitars, I have to give a big thank you to the sponsor of this video, Sweetwater. A bunch of the gear in this room was provided to me by Sweetwater throughout the years, and anything that isn't available on their website, you can probably find on their used gear exchange site as well. If you're not familiar with Sweetwater, they're one of the largest online music store retailers that has pretty much any piece of music gear you can possibly think of. I'm very thankful to work with them. I've worked with them for a bunch of years now. They have always treated me awesome and they are always good to work with. So with that being said, if you're looking to get yourself or someone you know a new piece of music gear, be sure to go check out that link in the description and the pinned comment below. It's also an affiliate link, so anything you buy directly helps support my channel. With that being said, let's get on with even more guitars. Okay, moving on to the next guitar in my collection. This is a heavily custom made Roof Guitars Schrodinger 7-string. I just got this year while I was on tour in Europe. Roof Guitars is a company from Poland, and they actually brought this guitar to me in Poland, so I got to open it there and play it on stage for the first time immediately after opening it, which was a really, really cool experience. But yeah, this one has Lundgren M7 pickups. It has a kill switch right there, a 3-way pickup selector, and a volume knob down there. The most notable thing on this is obviously the absolutely insane inlay work. Yes, this is an inlay, not painted on, and it's all carbon fiber, as you can see there. They even painted the pickups to go with the carbon fiber pattern to not break the emblem, which is, by the way, my band Carcosa's spiral logo. And then on the horns, we have our main logo. It's upside down there and then right side up there. But yeah, 26.5-inch scale, 7-string guitar. This company also makes their own proprietary material called roofane, so no wood components at all. Rich light fretboard, hip shot locking tuners, hip shot bridge. What else is going on here? Yeah, it's all just like a one-piece, big ol' injection molded situation. Lots of carbon fiber going on as well. Very, very cool company. I'm sure I'll be doing something else with them soon as well, because I know they want to build something else new together. I just need to decide what I actually want. But this guitar was an awesome surprise. I got to pick none of the specs. Other than that, it was green and a 7-string. They did everything else themselves and they absolutely nailed it. This guitar is super sick, and I think I have it tuned down to like drop F or something like that at the moment. Okay, next up we have the Ernie Ball Music Man Majesty 8-string. This is actually the exact same one that my friend Jared Dines uses in his band Oni. Just a random interesting fun fact for you. But anyways, this guitar is really sick. Tons of features. To be honest with you, I mostly use this guitar for leads and cleans. I actually used it for all the leads and cleans on my band Carcosa's newest album. What do we got going on here? We have like the sparkle blue finish. It's very, very hard to capture on video, but there is a very, very slight sparkle. This is not black. There's blue sparkles inside of there with the big old shield flame maple piece in the middle. These are the DiMarzio, I think they're called the Dreamcatcher and Rainmaker or something like that. It also has a piezo system on the bridge, which is why it sounds so good for clean tones. 25.5-inch to 27-inch scale, multi-scale 8-string guitar. Locking tuners, I don't remember all the woods off the top of my head, but yeah, this guitar is really, really good for leads and cleans. The rhythm tone isn't my preference, but some people really like it. The bridge pickup is pretty far from the bridge, so it has that kind of like honky thing going on that I don't love for deathcore chugs, but it sounds really good for like single note genty stuff. So anyways, this guitar is awesome. This is probably going to be a keeper forever. Okay, next up we got another 8-string guitar. This is the Ibanez Meshuggah M80M. So this is the Indonesian version of Meshuggah's signature guitar. It is a very simple, straight to the point metal machine. I think it has like a 29.4-inch scale length or something like that. So it is stupidly long, which is part of why it sounds so good for tuning down. I think I usually have this in like double drop D or whatever you want to call that. It has the Ibanez bridge that I absolutely hate, but Meshuggah loves it, so it stays. I personally just like their simple, more, you know, standard, what is it called? Hardtail bridge. I don't really like this because I don't personally think it adds any benefit to the guitar, but I've talked about that a bunch in other videos. The bridge pickup is like as close as humanly possible to the bridge as well, which is another thing that adds to why this guitar sounds so awesome. Volume and a tone knob, no push-pull, no fancy features, just on or off. I'm honestly surprised they even bothered with a tone knob, but hey, not my signature. Yeah, just kind of like a very simple, straightforward, to the point, mean-ass looking 8-string guitar. And one of the OGs, I think it was the first ever signature 8-string ever made, so very cool, very happy to have this one. On the topic of Ibanez and 8-strings, we have the Ibanez RGD MS8 with some modifications. So this is an 8-string that Ibanez released, I think in 2023. It's the first ever production RGD 8-string, which I think is super sick. I really like the RGD shape, even though it is very similar to the RG. It does have those extra bevels and cutaways, which I think just look really, really nice and classy. This one in particular, I think looks sick with the silver and gold accents on the body and the hardware rather. I did also replace the pickups in this guitar. Originally, they are white Fishman Modern 9-string pickups, and I've replaced them with actually the Stephan Carpenter 9-string pickups instead. I was surprised at how much I actually liked how this guitar looked with black pickups. Originally, these are white, and I think it actually looks really good with black pickups as well. These pickups also have a glow-in-the-dark strip in them, although you can never tell because I'm always in a room with a lot of lighting. Very cool guitar, good mod platform, and a good one from Ibanez for sure. Okay, next up we have another one from Jackson Guitars. I have to move it a lot to actually get it in the frame here because it's such a big guitar, but this is the Dave Davidson Warrior 7-string. I got this one this year. It's in this awesome yellow finish. You can also get it in red. But yeah, this guitar is super sick. I've always wanted a Warrior shape because having extended range guitars, so you know, 7/8-string guitars that are not super strats is very rare. So I was stoked when Jackson put this out. I think it's absolutely sick, even though it does have a Floyd, which I pretty much never use. Anytime I've picked up this guitar and recorded with it, it has always been fun, and it just looks so sick for videos, right? These are also Dave Davidson's signature pickups with DiMarzio. I can't remember the name of them off the top of my head. Three-way pickup selector, volume, tone, no push-pull, no nothing like that. Just a really, really sick guitar, man. Very, very fun to play. I think I have this one in drop A. Next up, we have another Ibanez 8-string. As you are going to notice, I have a lot of 8-strings from Ibanez in particular. But yeah, this is another Meshuggah signature guitar. This is the FTM33. So this is Frederick Thordendal's signature guitar. It is pretty similar to the other one, but this one has a 27-inch scaling, so not as long. It also has a neck pickup and a bridge pickup. Again, both the Lundgren M8s. 3-way pickup selector, which is all the way up here. Mirror pick guard looks absolutely sick. I think it's volume tone, so independent volume controls of both. So I guess if you don't want the neck, you could like use that as a kill switch or something, but I just never use the neck, so there you go. Same bridge, which again, don't like. I love the body shape on this. This is called the Stoneman, so it's kind of like a weird mix of like a Firebird and an Iceman. Again, I think having 7 and 8-string guitars that are not super strats is awesome. So this guitar definitely passes that check because it looks absolutely sick. Don't play it that often, and I do think that the M80M does sound a little bit better, but this one I think looks way nicer in my opinion. Yeah, other than that, all the specs are the same between both. The fretboard on this one is Jatoba, which doesn't look quite as good either because it was like during that very brief period of time where rosewood was like illegal or whatever. So a lot of guitar companies switched to using Jatoba, which is a lot more like orange looking and not as dark and black. So I think that this does not look as good on this guitar because everything else about this guitar is just like mean and black, but you know, whatever. It's still a sick guitar regardless. Okay, moving on to one of the oldest guitars in my collection. This is a Fast Guitars Roamer 8-string. Fast Guitars was a company I used to work with a lot. They were based out of British Columbia like myself, so it was really cool to be able to work directly with a small local luthier. Unfortunately, he decided to discontinue these guitars, but I still have a few of them and they are still some of my favorites. Even though this one doesn't get a lot of playtime, this is one I will definitely never sell. It's obviously a Jazzmaster style body in this really, really nice finish, which is reflecting my ceiling light, unfortunately. There you go. So it's this like spalted, quilted maple up top. We have bare knuckle cold sweat pickups, individual saddles for the bridge pieces from Hipshot, volume tone, 3-way pickup selector, swamp ash body. One weird thing about this guitar is that the strings are actually top mounted. They don't go through the body at all, which I wish I didn't have him do in hindsight, but oh well, it was my first custom guitar. White binding across the whole thing. The fretboard is ebony with these giant angled block inlays, which I think look absolutely sick. Ebony fretboard, I think I already mentioned that. A roasted maple neck. Another weird thing about this guitar is that he always only used 2 bolts for his guitars because the neck has like a giant steel insert. So this is actually more stable than having a neck with like, you know, 5 wood screws or whatever. So pretty cool stuff. And Hipshot locking tuners up top. And that's pretty much all the details for this thing. Again, doesn't get too much playtime these days, but still a very nice guitar that I will keep forever. Next up, we got another guitar from Jackson. This is a Jackson Kelly baritone. I think this was from their Pro Plus XT line, I believe it was called. For some reason, these were like super limited edition. I don't know why Jackson didn't make more of these because they are very, very sought after. Yeah, it's a 27-inch scale 6-string guitar with Seymour Duncan, Sentient, and Nazgul pickups. Jesus, my brain. Volume knob, kill switch that's momentary, as well as a 3-way pickup selector. I personally wish this was just straight up an on-off switch, not a momentary kill switch, because I don't really use that, but whatever. Just all blacked out, murdered out. It looks absolutely sick. Even the Jackson logo is black. I think that looks so awesome. We got Jackson's own locking tuners on the back. I don't remember the wood types of this guitar because it's all covered up in black paint, other than the fretboard being ebony and having jumbo stainless steel frets. But yeah, absolute beast of a guitar. This is another one that I probably will never get rid of, even though I don't use it as much as I should. Yeah, this thing sounds awesome, looks awesome, just a super badass metal machine. Next up, we have a Vola Oz 7-string. This is actually the signature guitar of one of my friends, Quinny from 1056. This is his signature model in this really nice kind of copper finish. I don't remember what exactly Vola calls it, but you get the point. We got bare knuckle boot camp pickups. There are a ton of options with these pickup selections. So it's a 5-way switch and then a push-pull on the volume knob, also with a 3-way mini switch right there. I don't remember off the top of my head what all of that does, to be completely honest with you, but it was some really weird and cool stuff, like switching from series to parallel and having both the neck and bridge at the same time and stuff like that. This is the first guitar that I got in collaboration with Vola Guitars because it is also their first baritone guitar. This is a 27-inch scale 7-string guitar, so perfect for tuning down. Vola's headstock just looks super awesome. We got Goto locking tuners on the back. as well as Quinny's signature up there. Look at that guy, I miss him. Again, I don't remember all the specs for this guitar, but I think it's a roasted maple fretboard and neck, jumbo stainless steel frets, and the Kadinja logo, I think, on the 12th fret. Yeah, the Kadinja logo, which is Quinny's other band besides 1056. Yeah, just a really sick guitar. I love all the accents on it, the little cutaways there, the fact that the binding goes through the top wood right there and then continues looks really, really nice. Just a really sick guitar, and hopefully the start of something more with Vola guitars, but we'll see. Next up, we have the Schecter Red Dawn 6-string Evertune. I first saw this guitar when I went to Schecter's factory for a factory tour about a year ago, right after NAMM, which was a really cool experience. Shout out to Adam for giving me a tour and working with me for so long. I've worked with Schecter for like 3 or 4 years now. But yeah, this guitar is another kind of just super metal looking guitar. Red binding, red pickups, red accents everywhere. Looks sick. Obviously the Evertune bridge, you can't go wrong with that. Love the Evertune. I have this one permanently set up for drop C tuning. These are the Fishman Fluence. What are these? I don't remember what these are, but they're different than the moderns, but they're not the classics because they're these rails. I'm gonna have to look that up and put that on the screen. But yeah, just other than the Evertune and the pickups, it's a pretty standard 6-string guitar. We got locking tuners up top, 5-way pickup selector, push-pull for the voicing on the volume knob. Just a really sick guitar. I've actually used this way more than I thought I would. I originally wanted the baritone version, but they sent the standard scale one instead. And honestly, I'm cool with that because this thing sounds awesome. One of the other things that Schecter often does, which I really, really like, is they also add a satin finish to the back of the neck, even on their gloss guitars, which is so much better because playing satin necks is way more fun. Next up, we have probably the most ridiculous 8-string guitar in my collection. This is an Aristides 080S, full custom shop guitar. It has a kill switch only, which you can barely see with this insane finish job. So on-off kill switch right there. We have a Lundgren M8 pickup, a fan fret hardtail from Hipshot. Obviously, the thing that stands out most about this guitar is this finish. So this is the first, if not the only, swirl finish that Aristides has ever done. It was done in collaboration with someone named Richard Fay Swirls over in the UK. So they had to like build it in the Netherlands, ship it to the UK, get it painted, ship it back to the Netherlands for final assembly. It was a long process, and I am so happy with the result. This guitar looks so sick. Way better than I ever could have anticipated. Like, again, just take a minute to look at that ridiculous finish. Jesus Christ. Every time I look at it, I'm still just like, how is this mine? And then I continued that theme onto the fretboards. So the inlays are yellow dot inlays, but then a green inlay for my initials. Matching headstock, of course. Hipshot locking tuners, can't go wrong with that. And with the Aristides fan fret guitars, I believe it's a 26.5 to 28-inch scale, so it's a little bit longer. This is the guitar I used to track all the rhythm guitars on Carcosa's last album. It sounds absolutely brutal. I love this guitar. It is definitely a keeper forever. And while we're on the topic of custom guitars with insane finishes, this is the first and only G&L baritone Rampage. G&L went out of business like a month after this was completed, so I guess this is going to be the only baritone they ever make, not just the first, which is crazy that I have this. But yeah, this one was all done in collaboration with Kaler. As you can see, it has a Kaler bridge right there. So it was their idea. They really wanted me to do something with a Kaler bridge, even though they knew that it might not be my thing. So shout out to Kaler for taking a chance on me. I like this bridge way more than I thought it would, and it is genuinely very sick. I go through a lot more details about this and all these other guitars in each of their dedicated videos, by the way. So if you want to learn more about any of these, please go watch the full videos because it's too much to go over in this video. Absolutely insane rainbow crackle finish. Well, I guess it's not really rainbow, but it's like purple, black, yellow, green. Looks so sick. I've never had a crackle guitar before this, my apologies. We have a single Seymour Duncan Pegasus in the bridge, and then once again, that kill switch on or off only. As you're gonna notice in most of my custom guitars, that is the option I go with. One pickup, kill switch only, no nonsense. This one is a 28-inch scale. I have it tuned down to drop E. Another cool thing about this is the Graphtec unlock nut, I believe it's called. So you might notice that even though it does have a floating bridge, it doesn't have a locking nut, and this works shockingly well. It's very cool. And then we also have the Graphtec ratio tuners up top, along with these custom, well, not custom, but different buttons, which are like roller buttons rather than, you know, the traditional tuning peg you're used to. Very, very sick guitar. definitely one of my favorites. Okay, next up we have yet another custom guitar that many of you have probably seen before. This is my Aristides 080R. So this is the raw version of Aristides' guitars, meaning that the finish is actually just kind of like injected into the body. It's not necessarily painted. Once again, we have a single Seymour Duncan Pegasus pickup, Evertune bridge, kill switch off on only. This time around, it is the straight scale 27-inch version, hip shot, locking tuners once again, and a giant obnoxious carcosa inlay on the 12th fret. I got this guitar when my band Carcosa was starting because I wanted something that really made a statement. Our band's colors are black and yellow, so I wanted a guitar that was literally just yellow and in your face. I have brought this guitar all over the world with me to every Carcosa tour we've ever played. It has almost never let me down, other than, you know, the output jack dying a couple times, but that's gonna happen when it's bouncing around in a trailer or on a plane. But yeah, very solid guitar. I love this thing. I do want to get a different stage guitar for future tours, but I don't really know what I want to do. But in the meantime, this guitar is an absolute beauty and another keeper. Okay, next up I have a Dingwall NG2 5-string bass. This is the NG2 because it only has 2 pickups, which I personally prefer. You know them, you love them. It's a Dingwall bass guitar, signature bass guitar from Nolly, formerly of Periphery. I've had this and the other one for a bunch of years now. They just are reliable basses, man. They always sound good. It's a Canadian company, which is a bonus in my books. I got this Ferrari green one right here. And I have my Ferrari green swirl right here. So exact same bass, both of them. This one is in drop A, that one is in drop E, so way lower with like a 170 gauge string on the low one. But yeah, these guitars are awesome. It's a 37-inch scale for the low string, which is what helps make it sound so nice and so ideal for drop tuning, which I do a lot. But yeah, very, very solid guitars. I'm very happy to own both of these, and they have been on tons of videos. Next up, we have an Aristides 070R. This is a 7-string guitar, so pretty much the same as the 8-string, except obviously one less string and a 26.5-inch scale. This one has the Seymour Duncan Pegasus and Sentient pickups, a three-way pickup selector, and a push-pull for coil splitting. It has my inlay on the 12th fret right there, and on the back, it says string gauge, which, you know, you can read upside down. But this was actually a wedding gift from my friends, so it is a very, very cherished guitar. It's also the first Aristides that I ever had. Big thank you to my friends for making this happen. I wanted an Aristides so bad back in the day, and they made it happen with my first ever one. And now I have 2 more. 2 more? 3 more? 2 more. I'm losing count. One thing I forgot to mention, by the way, is if you're not familiar with Aristides guitars, these are not made out of wood at all either. This is their own proprietary material called Arium. So they are super, super stable. No wood components moving around with humidity and heat and stuff like that. And just incredibly high quality guitars. These are awesome. They just look like space age instruments, and I absolutely love them, as you can see, since I have 3 of them. Okay, moving on with even more green guitars. This is an Ibanez RG852, so yet another Ibanez 8-string. This one originally came in a Galaxy Black finish, and I had it refinished in Ibanez's LNG, or Loch Ness Green finish. I had the pickup swapped for Seymour Duncan Blackouts. This kill switch also lights up green when it's plugged in. Volume knob, in hindsight, I should have swapped these, but I didn't think of that at the time. Three-way pickup selector. I think everything else is stock on it. Goto locking tuners. And obviously this is a tribute guitar to one of my favorite guitarists of all time, Justin Lowe. Rest in peace to him from After the Burial, if you're not familiar. Amazing guitar, another one I will never get rid of. It's been a joy to play. This one usually lives in F standard because that is what After the Burial used most of the time. Next up, we have another highly customized guitar. This is an LTD SCT607B. So this is Stephen Carpenter from Deftones' signature 7-string guitar with a 27-inch scale length, so a baritone 7-string guitar, which I feel like there are not that many of. I had a bunch of customizations done to this guitar. First and foremost, normally this has 2 pickups that are side by side, like a middle and a bridge, and I always thought that was kind of dumb. I don't like it when I pick, my picking hand is like right on top of that middle pickup. Why is it there? Get rid of it, right? So I got a new pickguard cut that literally is just covering the hole where the old pickup was. I also swapped out the bridge pickup. Originally, this was a Stephen Carpenter Fishman pickup, and then I switched it to a Seymour Duncan something, and then I switched it back to a Fishman Matt Heavy signature. And now once again, we're back to the Stephen Carpenter bridge pickup, but he like re-released his pickups this year or last year and they sound way better. So this sounds much better, and it finally has his own pickup back in it. Also, this is a custom controlled plate, so it only has a volume knob. Originally it had a pickup selector, a volume, and a tone. Got rid of all that, so just the volume with the push-pull for the voicings. And we also have Graphtec ratio locking tuners up top. And yeah, I've thought about selling this guitar a few times because I don't use it that much, and also LTD and ESP don't work with me. But every time I list it, as soon as someone says they're interested in buying it, I take the listing down. I can't sell this guitar. Even though I barely play it, I like it too much. And yeah, did a lot of things to it, and I want to keep it that way. Next up, we have a Jackson American Series Soloist. This is just a workhorse of a guitar, man. It is an American-made Jackson hardtail soloist, which there are very few of, or actually they might have never existed for a hardtail version. Usually they have a Floyd, so I'm very happy that they offered a hip shot bridge version because I don't really like floating bridges. I think this is the EMG 8185 pickup layout. I don't remember off the top of my head. I'll have to double check. Just simple controls through a pickup selector, volume, tone, EMGs, ebony fretboard. I don't remember the woods for the neck or the body. I'm sorry about that. Goto locking tuners up top with that classic Jackson headstock. This guitar is a beast, man. Even though the specs are very simple, it just looks and feels absolutely solid. It is so much fun to play. This is another one I wasn't expecting to like nearly as much as I ended up liking, and it has been in a ton of videos. Next up, we have another guitar from Fast Guitars. This is a Fast Guitars Orion 9-string. I think this might be the only 9-string Orion that he ever ended up making. And this guitar is such a beast, man. Like, this is definitely my favorite 9-string I've ever had, still to this day, and that is why I keep it. It was fully custom made, so this awesome green finish over top of quilted maple. We have EMG 909X pickups, a really cool bridge, which Fast Guitars made himself, like a plastic material. But even though it's plastic, it is super solid, and I've never had any issues with that. And also, it's a white bridge. You never really see colored bridges on any guitar, so I thought that was super cool. We have a 28 to 30 inch scale, so sounds really good for those super low notes. Hip shot locking tuners up top with a matching headstock, of course. And once again, my stupid big dumb initials on the 12th fretboard. One other thing I forgot to mention about Fast Guitars that's interesting is he also used to put the truss rod adjustments in the fretboard, which is actually really cool. A lot of people were always really confused about this when I played these guitars a lot more, because they were like, don't you feel this under your finger? And the answer is no. If you're pressing if you're pressing the string so hard that it's bending between the frets, you're playing guitar way too hard. Like, you should not be having to put that much pressure on your string. So no, you never feel the holes. That's what she said. Next up, we have one of the newest guitars in my collection. This is a Sterling by Music Man Kaizen 7-string. So I just finished making the video on this, but yeah, it's a much more simplified version of the Ernie Ball Music Man Kaizen guitar. So straight scale rather than fan fret, 25.5 inch scale, so a little bit shorter for a 7-string. Volume and tone through a pickup selector, nothing crazy with the electronics there. Sterling by Music Man's own bridge. Very weird tuners up top. These are like Steinberger gearless tuners, which I don't know if I love or hate yet. You put the guitar in tune by twisting these knobs on the back rather than on the side. It definitely looks unique and cool and interesting, but I don't know. The practicality of like tuning like this versus this just feels weird to me, but maybe that's just because I'm not used to it. I don't know. But yeah, what is this? Rusted maple neck, ebony fretboard, I think. Sterling by Music Man's own pickups as well, which were designed in collaboration with Tosin Abasi, which actually sound pretty good. Yeah, I think that's it for the specs of this guitar. I think the body is made out of Nayato, but I could be wrong. It's always hard to tell with these solid finish bodies. Speaking of the finish on this one is actually really nice too. It's like this fire mist purple. It's not color shift, but like it almost looks like it is, and I think it looks really sick. But yeah, that's this one. Okay, on the topic of purple guitars, we have this absolutely ridiculous 9-string from Legator Guitars. So this is a 9-string guitar. I don't remember the scale lengths off the top of my head. I'll have to put that on the screen. A single Fishman Fluence modern pickup in the bridge with only a volume knob, push-pull for the voicing, and a kill switch right there, which glows red, I believe, when you plug it in. Headless guitar, so the tuners are at the bottom. Pretty nice looking neck on it with the Legator inlay on the 12th fret. If you flip it over, it's a 5-piece neck as well, which looks really nice. This guitar really surprised me. I hadn't tried a Legator guitar since like 2012 or something like that. And back when I had that one, it was like the cheapest 7-string they had, so obviously it wasn't like amazing. This is much better, and it should be because obviously it's priced higher. But yeah, this guitar is actually really cool. It sounds great. It's a 9-string, so it's definitely not for everybody, but I have had a good time playing it so far. Next up, we have another new one to my collection, which I just got recently. This is an Abasi Concepts ME Legion 8-string. I believe that's the correct order of those words. So this is a really sick 8-string guitar. This is a brand I've never had anything from before, so I didn't know what to expect, and I am like blown away by how good this is. I really love how they sound. This has the Fishman Fluence Abasi signature pickups, volume, tone, 5-way pickup selector. The tone knob is push-pull. The volume knob is not, so tone is for the voicings. I don't remember the body wood off the top of my head, but obviously ebony fretboard, stainless steel frets. Really cool way that the inlays go like up and then back down. I think that looks pretty neat. Legion on the headstock. We got Abasi's own locking tuners on the back. Again, that headstock shape looks really nice. I can't remember if this neck is Venge, but it looks like it is to me. Bolt on as well. And yeah, there's just like curves all over this guitar. Bevels, curves everywhere. It's super comfortable to play. The whole point of it is that you can play it kind of like sitting like this, how I play, or like this, and it like perfectly fits your body with those two cutaways, as you can see there. And the giant belly carve on the back just kind of like hugs your body. This guitar feels so comfortable to play, and it's been awesome so far. Next up, we got an oldie. This is a Sterling by Music Man JP150D, I believe it's called. So this is kind of like the nicer end of what Sterling offers because it comes stock with DiMarzio pickups. I believe this is a Crunch Lab and liquefier. Once again, Sterling by Music Man's own bridge, volume, tone, through a pickup selector. One of these is a push-push, not a push-pull. I think that's for coil splitting. I can't remember off the top of my head though. It's either for coil splitting or to like boost, but I'll have to look that up. Beautiful spalted maple top in this awesome like lava burst finish. It looks super nice. There's the back of it as well. Bolt on, roasted maple neck with Sterling by Music Man's locking tuners up top, and an ebony fretboard, again with John Petrucci's logo up top. Very sick guitar. I think this one usually lives in drop B as well. I've had this one for a long time, and every time I play it, it's always a good time. I'm now realizing I have a lot more floating bridge guitars than I realized I have. So anyways, on that note, this is the Schecter PT7 FRS, I believe it's called. So this is a new one from Schecter. It has these really sick Roman numeral inlays throughout the fretboard, cream binding across the body and the neck. The back of it is actually beautiful. Has the 5-piece neck going all the way through, or sorry, 7-piece neck going all the way through the body. Also has a really nice finish there, and then just like the solid black on top. I think this guitar looks super sick. Fishman Fluence Modern in the bridge with the Sustainiac in the neck, and these are the controls for that. Obviously, Floyd Rose something or the other there. 3-way pickup selector, volume, tone, push-pull for both. One of them will be the voicing. One is probably coil split, but I can't remember. And then these are the controls for the Sustainiac. If you don't know what a Sustainiac is, it's basically like a magnetic pickup that makes your strings ring out forever. So it is really sick for making like weird droney ambient noises. And that's primarily why I have kept this guitar around, is just to make like weird ass like ghost noises in the back of songs. It sounds sick. I know it's a little overkill for just doing that, but anyways, it is a really good guitar. Stainless steel frets, locking nut, no locking tuners, but weirdly enough, they did put these like Tone Pros tuners on it. So I don't really know what the motivation for putting name brand tuners that are not locking tuners on this guitar, but you know, whatever. Nonetheless, this guitar is really sick. Once again, like I've said earlier, having not super strats that are 7 strings or 8 strings is always a plus in my books, and this one looks sick. Next up, we got a guitar that I honestly pretty much never used, but this was a guitar kit that I made with my wife, Serena, which is why I keep it around, even though I never play it. So it is a guitar kit from a company called Precision Guitar Kits that I used to work at. So if you remember the Fast Guitars, same guy, he just started a guitar kit company instead. But yeah, it was a blank guitar kit. My wife painted it. I tried to finish it. I'm impatient. I didn't finish it very well. This actually has Wes Houch's signature bridge pickup, which I'm forgetting the name of right now, in the bridge. And then the neck is, I believe, Seymour Duncan Sentience. Volume, tone, through a pickup selector. It actually has a really, really nice neck wood. I think it's Pale Moon Ebony. It has, as I hit it on my chair, hip shot locking tuners. As you can see, there's like a spider web on it because I've literally not used this in so long, my bad. And a hip shot bridge as well. My wife and I have talked about like fully sanding this down and redoing it one day as a project, but I just have so much stuff going on that I don't know if I'll ever get around to it. But even if I never play it, it was a very fun project to make. And when I did play it, it does sound good. I just rushed the finish, so it doesn't feel as nice as a lot of my other guitars, but fun memory. Okay, next up we have another custom guitar from Aviator Guitars. This is an Aviator Predator 8-string. I'm guessing that this was obviously very heavily inspired by the Ibanez Meshuggah model I showed earlier. This one's a little shorter. It's a 28-inch scale 8-string, but still longer than most 8-strings. The finish on it is actually really nice. At first it just looks like it's black, but it's actually like a gradient from like dark black to gray. You can kind of see it there a little bit. Single, what is this called? Instrumental pickups SFTY3, I think. Hip shot bridge, single volume knob, push-pull for coil split. Really, really nice neck joint on this. Like one of the best I've ever seen. It's hard to illustrate, but man, the way that that joins the neck feels so good. Very, very lightweight guitar as well. And yeah, just a really nice piece of swamp ash. Ebony fretboard, jumbo stainless steel frets. Really nice headstock. Inline headstocks for 8-strings are very rare. Hip shot, locking tuners as well. And the neck is really nice too. I believe it's Venge and Maple. Very, very sick guitar. Happy to have this one in my collection. Okay, next up we have a Squier vintage modified baritone jazzmaster. It's been a while since I've said that one. I had to think about it. But yeah, you all know this guitar. You all love this guitar. This was made famous by the band Loathe. They used these guitars for the Cold Sun as well as most of I Let It In and Took Everything. Absolutely love Loathe, so I had to buy one of these guitars. It's a 30-inch scale 6-string guitar by Squier. These are highly sought after now. I think these can go used for up to like $1,400, which is absurd because I got mine for like $400 back in the day. Almost never play this guitar, to be completely honest with you, but it has a very, very unique guitar tone, mostly because of these Jazzmaster pickups. It has this really fucked up kind of like twang sound to it that just sounds really, really good for low tunings. This one pretty much lives in drop E almost all the time because I pretty much only use it when I want to play Loathe songs, but very sick guitar. I think I've had 3 of them and sold 2 of them because they were worth so much money, and this one will be a keeper though. Next up we have a Schecter Tau 8-string. This is John Brown from Monuments' signature 8-string guitar. This is definitely my favorite 8-string guitar that Schecter has ever sent to me. It sounds so good. Even though these are Schecter's own pickups, they designed them in collaboration with John Brown, and he can just do no wrong, man. He knows good tone, and this one has good tone. So single volume knob, three-way pickup selector, push-pull for coil split, hip shot bridge, like I said, his own pickups. Actually a pretty nice finish on this one with that purple finish over like a very light flame maple veneer. It's pretty thin, but you know, it looks nice. Swamp ash body, which looks really nice on the back. Bolt on, 5-piece neck, which is Venge and something else I don't remember off the top of my head. Hip shot locking tuners. This one's a 27-inch scale, straight scale 8-string guitar. I think it also has jumbo stainless steel frets. Really, really sick guitar. I tried to bring this on my last tour, and unfortunately, I was having an issue where the pickups actually unscrewed themselves in the trailer of our van. So every time we drove, when I would take the guitar out, the pickups would basically be falling out of the guitar. So I ended up not really using it very much for that reason. But under normal circumstances, this guitar sounds awesome, and I would still recommend it because it is the best 8-string that Schecter has ever made, in my opinion. Next up, we have probably the only, no, it's definitely the only acoustic guitar in my collection. It's actually a nylon acoustic electric situation. This one is from Ortega. They originally sent me a 6, a 7, and an 8-string. I never used the 7 or the 8-string outside of making a couple memes, but I did keep the 6-string because it sounds really, really good, and it's always useful to have some sort of acoustic guitar lying around your studio for the rare time that I need it, which is definitely not often, as you can see by all the dustiness, but this one sounds really good. The onboard system for, I guess the pickup is the better way to put it, is actually really good sounding, and it has an output jack down there. Even though I do have a treated room, honestly, most of the time, if I ever use this, I just plug it in and take the DI because it sounds really good. Nothing too crazy with this one. I believe this is called a Player Series nylon guitar from Ortega, but pretty cool and useful to have around. Next up, we have another new guitar. This is the PRS Clio SE. This is Herman Lee from Dragon Force's signature guitar, the import version, not the like $7,000 American-made one. Very nice guitar. Clio on the headstock, locking nuts, ebony fretboard with dragon inlays because Dragon Force rather than the normal birds that PRS has. 25.5-inch scale as well, so a little bit longer than some PRSs. Really, really nice finish. This is called the Mantis Burst finish. It also comes in purple and I don't remember the other color, but obviously green. That's the one to get. Volume tone, 5-way pickup selector. Both of these are push-pull for a bunch of different features like the voicings on his signature pickups. And then this one does a bunch of weird stuff where this changes what each of these positions does drastically. Don't remember them off the top of my head, but it's weird stuff where you can have both neck and bridge at the same time, or the neck but only up here, but the bridge but only this coil. Tons of cool stuff there. Very, very thin, very lightweight guitar. Really, really cool stuff. Next up, we have a heavily modified Squier Hello Kitty guitar. This is the 2024 version that came out last year with some pretty obvious modifications to it. Number one, we have a 27.5-inch scale aluminum neck from Illuminati Guitars. This neck is absolutely ridiculous, and yes, it is literally all brushed aluminum. So this not only makes it baritone, but also gives it a ton of stability. Obviously, there's no truss rod needed because it's a piece of aluminum that's not going to go out of tune. And then we also have a custom pickup in the bridge, which is called the Colossal Incantation from Seymour Duncan. This pickup is literally not capable of doing clean tones because it is so hot, and I think that's really fun, especially in this ridiculous guitar. While we're on the topic of aluminum necks, this is a full guitar by Illuminati Guitars, so the same neck, except this time in polished aluminum, not brushed, and a fully clear body, which is just so cool. I believe this material is called lucite. I swapped the pickups on these to be the Fishman Fluence Matt Heavy signature pickups. Volume, tone, 3-way pickup selector, push-pull for the voicing of the pickup, Illuminati's own bridge as well. It's an aluminum pick guard. You can see everything in the back. It's so cool. Originally they're still in there. There are some lights that kind of go around the cavity of the body, but the battery died for it and I haven't replaced it yet. So it doesn't light up at this point in time, but it does look really cool. That's what that switch is for, by the way, is to give it a green glow, which is sick. Again, 27.5-inch scale, baritone guitar. This thing is definitely a statement and one of the most unique guitars in my collection. Next up, we have the Jackson Modern DK7, I believe it's called. This is the awesome gold sparkle 7-string guitar, Evertune bridge, Fishman Fluence classic pickups, volume, tone, 5-way pickup selector, push-pull for the voicings right there. Very, very sick guitar. I've used this a lot. This permanently lives in drop A. Oh yeah, it also has Goto locking tuners on the back of the headstock. And of course the matching headstock. Look how nice that looks, goddamn. Yeah, this guitar is so sick. Again, just a really, really solid, reliable guitar from Jackson. I've used this on a bunch of videos. I also recorded the whole Penis Lobotomy Piss World EP with this guitar with my friends, so go check that out. But yeah, very sick guitar. Next up is a heavily modified Fender Player Series Stratocaster. This is a made in Mexico Strat, I believe. It's also a Sweetwater exclusive finish, so they don't normally come in this finish other than at Sweetwater. And I've done a bunch of modifications to it. Number one, Sweetwater put in an Evertune. That's pretty cool. You don't see that very often on Stratocasters. This also has a custom pickup from Seymour Duncan in the bridge, which MJ handmade for me based on my specifications. So I basically asked for like an even more aggressive Pegasus pickup. So that's what that is. And then we also have 2 custom made single coil pickups in the middle and neck. I don't use these very often, but this is actually how this guitar started. I won a set of 3 Strat pickups at Sweetwater when I went there back in 2023. And I was like, thank you so much. I don't have anything to put these in. So Sweetwater was like, okay, well, let's get you a guitar to put them in. And I asked for this Strat, but I replaced all that, got them to put an Evertune in. I also have a 27-inch scale neck that they added to it. And then I added in Fender's official locking tuners as well. So almost everything about this guitar is customized, except for like, actually even the pickguard is customized because I had that put in to get rid of one of the volume knobs and move the volume knob down there because that's always in the way. Tons of cool stuff on this guitar. I actually use this on tour with Carcosa because I have it an octave down in drop E, and it sounded so good, and it tripped people out when they saw me playing deathcore on a surf green Strat. It was a lot of fun. Next up, we have a Edwards Snapper 7-string. I actually got this guitar when I went to Japan in 2024. It comes in this beautiful twinkle pink finish with gold hardware, EMG 81, 85, 7 pickups, I believe. Once again, I took out one of the 2 volume knobs and moved it down, so volume tone and a through a pickup selector. Even all the screws are gold to match the hardware. This guitar just looks so sick. The whole time I was in Japan, I kept seeing this guitar at every guitar store we went to, and I had never even seen it in my life before, and I kind of just fell in love with it and ended up bringing one home with me. So this is my very expensive, very cool souvenir from the first time I went to Japan, and I'm going again in April, so I'm very excited to see what new weird things Japan has that I will probably take home with me. 25.5-inch scale, so a little bit short for my liking for 7 strings usually, but it looks so sick that I didn't really care. This one is great in drop A, and again, it kind of just looks like a traditional Strat, so you wouldn't really expect it to be as brutal as it is, and I like that. Also, it's one of the guitarists who used to play in Baby Metal's signature guitar, so added bonus there. Next up, we have one of my good friend Hunter, aka Agufish's signature guitar from Harley Benton. This is the standard scale one in a seafoam green finish. It has Roswell pickups, which Hunter designed in collaboration with Harley Benton. Way too many knobs for my liking. Volume, volume, tone, tone for each pickup. Through a pickup selector. Black binding across the whole body. Very, very nice guitar for a very affordable price. I think this is like $500 US, maybe even less. Really, really cool stuff. Always a fan of working with Harley Benton and supporting the homies, right? Speaking of supporting the homies, the next guitar is another one of these. This is yet another Agufish signature Harley Benton guitar, but this time it is a 28-inch scale baritone. All the other specs are the same, but the pickups are now chrome, like a satin chrome. Hardware is also that satin chrome, which looks really nice. Obviously this really sick like purple sandblasted finish, which looks amazing. This time it has 5-ply binding as well. So this is like the more premium and obviously baritone version of the same guitar. This guitar is a lot of fun, and again, very happy to work with Harley Benton and also support Agufish. Go check out his channel. You've probably seen it if you're watching me, actually, now that I think about it. But anyways, one more guitar, let's do it. Okay, and last but not least is my Dingwall D-Rock. This is a 4-string bass from Dingwall, which is kind of like this Firebird finish, but they had to call it D-Rock. Originally it was called D-Bird, now it's D-Rock. Pesky Gibson, man. Anyway, so this is a 4-string passive bass. I definitely prefer the sound of the NGs that I have over there, but I wanted to try something different with this one. I thought that the body shape looked really cool. Obviously, the sparkle finish looks absolutely beautiful as well. I think I just prefer the kind of like dark glass and active sound of the other basses. Once again, it's Dingwall, so it's an extended scale length. I think this one's like 36 inches, not 37, because it's a 4-string, not a 5-string. And this one usually lives in like drop C or drop B. Still a lot of fun to play. Just wish it had that active preamp, man. That would really take it over the edge for me, but yeah. Okay, that was a lot of guitars. Now we're gonna talk about all the other stuff in my room, because there's a lot of stuff that isn't guitars as well. Starting off with where I sit every single day, almost every day. So we got my desk and my PC setup. It's an Asus ROG something. I'm not sure what it is. I got it a few years back. Seems mostly fine. We got Focal Alpha Evo 8-inch monitors. We got the Doom Guy helmets, the Eternal helmet, and the Classic helmet. Obviously have to have both. I use 2 monitors. I, at this point, don't think I couldn't because I'm so used to it. We have a bunch of extra stuff that kind of just sits on the desk. As clean as I tried to make it for this video, there's always going to be a little bit of clutter. So we got like extra cameras, extra mics, extra tripods, headphones, random stuff that kind of just lives on my desk. In the desk itself, it is a rack desk that is severely underutilized, but that's where I keep my audio interface, my massive guitar tuner, which is super overkill, but I like it a lot, and a power conditioner to power everything here because this house is very old and our power is very dirty, so it helps clean up audio signals a bit better there. Moving on to this corner, This is just a floating guitar stand. Usually whatever guitar I'm currently using to record, I just kind of put it here rather than having to like walk back and forth to wherever it is in my room and finding it amongst all the other guitars. Again, extra random mic on a mic stand that I use once in a while. That's like a Lewitt LCT540S or something like that. Got the Shure SM7B here with the hentai sticker and the sprout that I use a bunch. That's just mounted right to the desk. Like I said, GoPro, random cameras and mics that get used once in a while live on the desk. What else do we got? Oh yeah, all throughout my room as well, there's sound paneling on all the walls. It's all from a company called Prime Acoustic, which is a local company to me. They gave me a really good deal on all this stuff, and it helped make this room sound so much better because it was so reverby and echoey before we put all this up. On this wall, behind the guitars, again, more sound paneling. I have these like string swing slat wall things, which is how I hang all these guitars. Nano leaf lights, which are fine. We have a PV Invective, micro head, a couple random pedals, a Harley Benton B30 cab, 212, D'Addario Expand mini pedal board with some pedals that I use a little bit more frequently. This is basically just a noise board, literally the noise pedal, the Banshee pedal, Cathedral, and a tuner. It's also battery powered, which I think is kind of cool. Over here we got a Rev 100P in a custom neon green Tolex finish with a matching 212 cab. Don't use this nearly as much as I should, but it looks super sick, and if nothing else, it's a great piece for my background. Moving over here, we have more guitars. We have a kind of, you know, just organizational dresser thingy from IKEA, which is fine. Bunch of guitar strings over there. In some of these, I'm sure there's even more that I've forgotten about. Cables, power cables, USB cables, HDMI cables, all kinds of cables live all in there with like straps, guitar tools. Anytime I get a guitar, it comes with like hex wrenches and whammy bars and all that stuff that kind of just gets thrown in here and probably never looked at again. This is like a Fender guitar boat situation, which I really like, and I want to get another one of these because I think it is the best looking guitar stand that I have. Even more guitars go here. Obviously, you've seen all the guitars already. I just think it's ridiculous looking at this room. There's just guitars everywhere. If we swing around here, this is the area that nobody ever sees, because this is where my cameras live. Obviously Serena's holding one of them, but this is the exact same camera right here, which is the Sony FX30. It's an awesome camera. I have these monitors on top so I can see myself better. The cable management is a mess. It kind of just always will be, unfortunately. But yeah, just so they're always plugged in and hopefully charged and powered on, which doesn't happen all the time, as we both know. Yeah, these just live on tripods. I only have one light in this room that I use for filming, which is actually this thing right here. I think it's really cool because it's just this like really flexible, like almost like fabric-y Velcro light that is actually completely foldable. But I have it actually pointing at the ceiling to bounce off of my white ceiling, so the light is a little bit less harsh. And this is only at 50% brightness. But if I turn it off, the room looks completely different because I have a lot of vibe lights going on. So like I said, nano leaf stuff on that wall. I also just replaced the ceiling lights in this room with these like Govee something something ceiling lights. These are fully RGB programmable. All of these lights can be whatever color I want, but of course I chose green. But yeah, when you turn that back on, this is what it looks like while I'm filming. Okay, and then in the middle of the room for like a room divider, there's this kind of not great looking but functional piece of furniture where I just put a bunch of stuff I'm not using that often. So on top is where I put my MacBook Air. There's like a little universal audio volt interface, which I can plug into it to record my drums, which we will talk about in a minute if I ever actually get around to recording drums. The middle shelf is kind of just, again, a bunch of random stuff like straps, pedals, pickups. There's a mat to change guitar strings, which I'd put on top. And then on the bottom, we have an Alesis Strike powered amplifier, which is plugged into the drums, and that's how I hear myself when I play those. Moving over to the other side of the room. Okay, so like I mentioned earlier, one of the main motivations for rearranging this entire room was this massive drum kit. I believe this is called the Roland TD-V7K or TD-7K-V2 or something like that. I am not a drummer, so I apologize if that's wrong. But yeah, basically the story behind this is a couple months ago, I did an event with Jared Dines called Jam House, which was a lot of fun. And Sweetwater actually sent over 2 of these drum kits to be used at that event. At the end of the event, we were supposed to ship these back to them, but they kind of realized it wasn't really worth their money, apparently, to ship it back. So they were like, just keep it. So, hey, thanks Sweetwater, now I have a drum kit. Drums are something I've always kind of wanted to learn, but they're pretty expensive and a pretty big barrier to entry, at least for like an actually nice kit. So I never really bothered. Also, like, I didn't really know how I would fit them in this room. But anyways, once I was basically just given this set, I'm like, well, this is a perfect opportunity to finally try them. So here they are. I've basically just been plugging them into my MacBook and playing Clone Hero, which is basically like a user-generated version of Rock Band where you can play like pretty much any song, but with a real drum kit. So it's, if nothing else, it's fun. I don't actually know if it's making me good at drums, but it is fun to play, and I sweat a lot when I'm playing it, but there's that for you. On this wall, we have some guitar pedals on these shelves. We have a bunch of random stuff like Doom artwork, a Guinness World Record I got from Sweetwater a long time ago for essentially doing nothing. It really is Rob Scallon's world record, and I just got to be a part of it for taking one of his pedal boards from the largest pedal board ever video. This is a tattoo of me that Johnny has on his thigh, the stencil of it. Carcosa's vinyls, just some random artwork and such. Over here is my second guitar wall display. I have 2 more hangers coming in here to hopefully hang 2 more guitars, just to try to get as many off the floor as possible. I think this wall turned out really sick. We just finished it yesterday. These are more Govee lights, but this is like the Evangelion collab thing, which I think looks really cool. This time around, these are, what is the brand? Elgato sound panels. So not Prime Acoustic, but one of my friends gave them to me, and I was like, oh, these actually fit really well with this kind of angular light. So yeah, there you go. Even more guitars over there. Closet, which I have to be careful opening so I don't hit these guitars now. But yeah, I don't know if you can see this, but it is a absolute mess of all the guitar cases, or as many as I could fit. There's like guitar necks, extra sound panels, boxes of stuff I never opened. Just a lot of random shit, basically. And then last but not least, my Dingwall D-Rock. I don't know why I chose this bass to hang here, but it has always been right here. This was before I had these other wall hangers where I was like, I need to put guitars somewhere. So I just put like a single wall hanger right here, and that's where this bass lives. And then another Carcosa album, but this time a CD. Oh yeah, next to my light switch, I also have all of my kind of like event passes. So for the tours I've done, or guest lists, or YouTube events, so on and so forth, a lot of good memories live on that wall, and I see it every day, first thing when I come into my studio. Oh yeah, and this is to kill spiders, because there's a lot of spiders in my basement, and they scare me a lot, and yeah, it sucks. Okay, so that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching this video and all of my other videos this year. Or if you've been a long-time viewer, I really, really appreciate you. I still really can't believe that this is my job, and especially around this time of the year when I do one of these videos and actually kind of like soak in the ridiculous amount of stuff I have that is only possible through you watching my channel, because it's the only reason I have almost all of this stuff, because companies want me to make videos for them, and they wouldn't want me to make videos for them unless you watch them. So I really appreciate you taking the time to watch my videos. Once again, a big thank you to the sponsor of this video, Sweetwater. Go check out their website, which is linked in the description and the pinned comment below. And last but not least, a big thank you to all my Patreon members whose names are on the screen at this point in time. This video doesn't really apply, but for most of my videos, if you want audio downloads, stems, or a shout out on the screen, you can find that on my Patreon page as well. Thank you all so much for watching. Have a happy new year, Merry Christmas, all that good stuff, and I'll see you soon.